Today I'm going to talk about fragrances. Probably wondering, what does that have to do with bubbles? Well, stay tuned to find out more. My name is Evelyn Abernathy, and I am the owner of Purple Essence Beauty, Health, and Wellness business using that Jafra line because it's my desire for everyone to look, feel, and be royal. Today, how to have a royal scent. So I know a lot of times people say they have a signature fragrance and it's just one fragrance they use for every occasion. They wear it all the time. But let me tell you a little bit about fragrances, how they can uplift your mood, and it can change or uplift your spirits, change your mood. It tells your story, and it can transport you back to a time when you were a child, and you might remember a grandmother's scent or your mother's scent, or it could take you back to a place. Maybe you have traveled the world and you have a certain smell. It reminds you of a place that you've been. Sometimes I would wear a fragrance according to the color of clothes I'm wearing. Honestly, if I'm wearing purple, sometimes I'll go with a color that has purple to it. It's so many different reasons that we can change our fragrances. But just like if you went to my closet, you would find a variety of clothes, you would find a variety of shoes, because I'm not going to wear the same shoes and outfit at the beach that I would wear to maybe a dinner gala. I wouldn't wear the same things to the gym that I'm going to wear to a job. So just as I change my clothes and my shoes, I change up my fragrance as well. I can use maybe 3 or 4 fragrances in a day. I do that often. If I'm getting out of the shower, I might use one, and then another time later while I'm sitting working my business, I wear another one. But if I'm going out for the evening, yet another one. So, and it's okay. And I'm going to show you how that works, because you're not necessarily mixing. But first, a little bit about fragrances. Fragrances are made up of alcohol, water, and essences, or sometimes you'll hear oils of essences, or essence oils, or essential oils. But basically, those are all the same. It's the alcohol, water, and essences, and it's the amount of the essence of oil that makes the difference of how you classify your fragrance. So for instance, we have a body mist or an aftershave that does not have as much of the essences. It has only 3%. So it's not going to last very long. So many of you may notice when you put your aftershave on, maybe within 30 minutes to 60 minutes, it's all gone because it has evaporated, that you didn't have a lot of essences in there, and that's fine. And so I would sometimes just get out of the shower, if I'm showering in the morning, use this body mist, and it's really cool. I know it's not going to last very long, but it's a very uplifting scent. It just kind of wakes you up, and you'll notice that a lot with the body mist. Just kind of gives you a nice pick me up and wakes you up a little bit. But then there's also what's called the eau de cologne, and a lot of the men's cologne, that's what they are, cologne. We do have one men's fragrance that is actually a perfume, but most for men are the eau de toilette or eau de cologne. So cologne has about 5 to 9% of the essences, so it's going to last longer than your it's going to last longer than the body mist, but not as long as some of the other fragrances. So it will last maybe about a couple of hours. So that's why it will be fine for me. I can start my morning off with my body mist. I know it's only going to be there for about an hour or so. Then once I start working, sitting at my desk, I love to put on the Ocean, Navigo Ocean. I love that scent from working, and it's just kind of uplifting and really nice scent. Then it's called the eau de toilette. You may sometimes see it, the letters EDT. Now you know what that means, eau de toilette. And that has 10 to 14% of the essences, and it's going to last longer still. That'll last you about 4 to 6 hours. So That's a great one to go to next. But then your lasting one, the one that lasts the longest, that has the most amount of the oil of essences, is your perfumes. You'll also notice if you go to the department stores, the perfumes are a lot more expensive because it does have that more of the essences to it. So that has 15 to 18% of the essences there. And that fragrance will last you 8 hours or more. Generally, you only need to put a little bit on. A little goes a long way. So you saw me with the bubbles in the beginning. So what the bubbles represent is when you have fragrances, every fragrance has 3 parts to it. There's a part that's called the top note or the head note. It's the body note or the heart note, and then there's the base note or the bottom note. And that's where we come in with bubbles. So your bubbles, that is when you first spray a fragrance, and you'll have this initial scent. It's very pleasant scent, but do you see how long these bubbles last? They disappear very quickly, don't they? They're very lightweight. It doesn't last very long. Kind of think of it as a first date. A lot of times you have that first date, it's just a coffee date. It's just really quick, trying to get to know the person. So when you first spray a fragrance, don't go by that initial scent because it's going to dissipate so quickly. That's just that top note. Top notes can be made of citric, herbals, greens, marines, or could even be fruity. But next, you have your body note or your heart note. This one, so after just a minute or so, go with the next scent that you smell. That is more kind of think of a beach ball. It's bigger and a little bit heavier than the top note, so it's a little bit more. This one's going to last a lot longer. The first note that you smell initially, that's not the one that's going to last. This is going to be the one you're going to hear, you're going to smell more often. So that is our body note. I'm sorry. That's right. The body or the heart note. That could be made of something that is floral or spicy or woody or leather. So it all depends on what it is that you like. And so think of that now. You've had your first date and now you're engaged. So now this is the engagement. The engagement lasts a lot longer than the date. But there's one more. We have now your base note or your bottom note. It's going to be bigger than the bubbles. It's going to be bigger than the beach ball. We have now your Pilates ball. Now this is it's bigger and it's heavier than the other ones. This is the one that's going to be there to endure for the rest of the time. So now that is your marriage. You've had the first date. You've had your engagement. Now that marriage is the one that's going to last. So that note could be musk. It could be amber. It could be sweet. It could be powdery. It could even be animalistic. Now, don't get me wrong. There is no animal testing ever. It's all done synthetically. So in the lab, what they're doing is creating that scent for you. And now here's what's great about having synthetics in your fragrances. You may be allergic to roses, but you may be able to wear a rose fragrance if it's made synthetically so that you're able to, it does not bother your allergies. So that's really, really great about having the products that have synthetics with the fragrances. Okay, so then what about testing your fragrances? A lot of times people test so many fragrances and then everything's just all mixed up in their nose palette and they don't know what they're smelling anymore. So here's what you should do. You're going to neutralize the nose palette by just smelling a part of your body. Smell your arm, a part that you haven't sprayed anything on, and that will neutralize it. I know a lot of times people have used coffee. I've been guilty of doing that too, but you know what? Coffee is a scent within itself. And it's an even stronger scent than the fragrances. So that doesn't neutralize. What that has done now is just add another layer of fragrances in your nose palette. So you just want to neutralize with your own body scent, and that will help. Okay, now where should you spray? A lot of times, here's different ways that people have to spray. Some people just kind of spray the air and then they walk into it. Some people like to spray it on their clothing only. Some people like to just spray all over from top to bottom. Be careful, don't do it in your face, but like neck to toe. You know, some people do it that way. And then some people just do certain parts, like the pulse points. So there is no real way that's true. It's whatever you like, you know, your freedom of how you want to do it. Some people will even spray like a wrist and then rub together. That's allowed too. You really can do that as well. But it's all up to you how you want to spray. And we'll talk a little bit about pulse points in a minute, though. Now, another thing is people will sometimes say, I love this fragrance, but it doesn't last on me. And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're using, now remember, if it's a body mist or if it's a cologne, no, it's not going to last long. But if you're using an eau de toilette or perfume, it's lasting for hours. You can't smell it anymore because you become desensitized to it. Think of it this way. During the holiday times, I do a lot of baking, a lot of different types of cookies. So once I'm in the kitchen for a while and I'm baking and baking, I smell nothing. I don't smell it anymore unless I'm burning them. I don't do that. But if I were to burn them, it would be a different smell. And so I would be able to smell that. But once I'm in that kitchen and I'm working in there baking, I don't smell it anymore. But someone may come into that room, you know, from another room into the kitchen or come from outside into the home and they're like, oh my gosh, it smells so great. That's the same with your fragrances. So even though you may not smell it anymore, you may have forgotten you put it on and hours later someone came and hugged you and they're like, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? So the fragrances do last on you. You just no longer smell it because it's just on you and your nose has just become desensitized to it. But here are some tips to help your fragrances last longer. Number one, don't put fragrances onto just dry skin. Always put a lotion on or an oil on because your fragrances will adhere better to moist skin opposed to dry skin. So tip number one, always make sure you are well moisturized before you put your fragrance on. And it doesn't have to be I'll use my royal almond body oil, which I absolutely love. And even though it's very lightly scented, it absorbs into your skin and it does not interfere with any fragrances that I'm going to put on. But I always want to make sure that my skin is moisturized. I might put my sunscreen on first and then make sure that I put my fragrances on. It will not interfere. It will last better because it's been moisturized. Okay, then second, you want to do fragrance layering. What that is, if your fragrance has an oil, a lotion, a bath and shower gel, a powder, for the guys, if it has an aftershave, as aftershave lotion, or if it has deodorant, use that because it's going to help your fragrance. It just layer on top of layer and on top of layering. So the more you have, the better that is, and keeping that fragrance lasting a little bit longer, even if it's a body mist. Typically, body mists do not have any other portions to do fragrance layering with. But if anytime you can purchase other parts for that fragrance, do it because it's going to last longer. It's going to be better for you. Pulse points. I did mention that earlier. So here's some areas that you can concentrate on when you're doing your fragrance: behind the ears, your wrist, your neck, your behind your ankles, behind your knees, because those are areas that is going to work well with fragrances. And I would definitely also say the ankles and the knees, because fragrances will rise. Just like heat rises, your fragrances rise as well. So you started off there at the bottom, but it just keeps going up. So that's wonderful to do it that way, which is a way a lot of times, like I say, a lot of times people just like to spray from top to bottom to top, doesn't matter. So they have it all over. Okay, another tip is to spray your hairbrush. Take your hairbrush, just spray a little bit of the fragrance onto it, and then brush that through your hair. That's a nice way of keeping the fragrances, especially on your upper portion. When you're storing your fragrances, store them in a dry place away from UV rays and away from humidity. I know a lot of times people like to store their fragrances in their bathroom, but you've got, you know, the shower, you got the humidity from there. Having it maybe on in a vanity away from your shower would be better. And limit foods that are strongly scented, like garlic and onions. So if you're out on a date, you probably don't want to have that. Well, you probably don't want that anyway for other reasons. But for sure, you don't want that interfering with your fragrance that you're using. So with that said, I just want to share a few. A few is just I have a lot of fragrances up here because I use a lot. And then remember, Jafra has fragrances for your entire family. It's not just for women. It's not just for men and women. It's for everyone. So let me start with the smallest people in our family. That will be our babies. So our babies, we have two types of fragrances for them. It's called Tender Moments. This one is not open, but it's our Tender Moments original formula. It's more of a powdery scent. Very nice. And I will tell you, there are adults, including men, that like to use this. So don't be fooled by just the title that it's for babies. So that's a really great one. But for the other Tender Moments, we have lavender and chamomile. Now, here's what's great about lavender and chamomile. Lavender by itself is very soothing. Chamomile by itself is very soothing. So that's exactly what this is. It's so soothing and so calming for the babies. If you have a baby that is not sleeping well, this is a wonderful product line. And talk about fragrance layering. Both of these have the bath and shower gel. Well, it's called the hair and body wash. And there's also the massage cream for them. So that's going to do that more fragrance layering as well. And then they have the other benefits, especially with using the massage cream. There's so many benefits for that, but we're concentrating on fragrances. So another thing, I use this fragrances. Notice that this one's not open. This one is, because I use this one. I use this at night if I have a hard time sleeping, or if I just want to relax a little bit more. I use this fragrance. So like I said, this one is called the Tender Moments Lavender and Chamomile. Love this. So that's for the little babies. We do have another line called Tender Moments 1, 2, 4, and that's more for your toddlers. Then as to go up a little bit more, we have for the little girls, Coretta. There's three different scents for this one. This one's Coretta Heart, then there's the original Coretta, and there's what's the other Coretta? Let me peek and tell you, because I think it's so cool with the little ones here. Don't see it right away. Let's see. Coretta is, we've got the Coretta Heart, the original Coretta, Coretta Spirit. That's right, Coretta Spirit. So we have different scents for the girls, and then for the little boys, you've got Skid. This is Skid Champ. We have the original Skid, and then we have Skid Rock. So those are really fun. And I would say, I mean, there's really no age limit for any of these fragrances, but if I'm going to give a fragrance to maybe a preschooler to up to, I don't know, 7 or 8, this would probably be the fragrances that I would use for that age group. So if you're looking for holiday gifts or looking for birthday gifts or any type of giving occasion for the little ones, that is perfect for them. Okay, then as they're going up a little bit more, let's say they're preteens. So now we have, I love the design of this. Look at this. Preteen, this is so cute. Sweetie Pop. Sweetie Pop. Love, love, love that. So it's just so wonderful how they have that. You just take the top off and it's sprayable. Really cute. And then we have that Sweetie Pop, and we've got Sweetie. So a little cupcake, really cute. I guess, you know, 10, 11, 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, maybe even up to 14 would love that. So adorable. Love that. Then a little bit older, let's say 14, 15, 16, you've got the Girl Squad, and there's others too. We've got Sensation. There are quite a few others. I'm just pulling out the ones that I have here. I've got to go through the catalog and count how many fragrances we have. I know it's well over 100. We've got so many fragrances because, again, we treat the entire family. Okay, so now I've got fragrances for, I'll go to the women's fragrances. We've got, remember I talked about how fragrances can transport you back in time. We got two, these are our signature fragrances. Signature meaning that the perfumers have actually signed it. You can see the perfumer's signature here and here. So this one is Paris. If you haven't seen, you kind of guess you can probably figure that out with the Eiffel Tower there, and the design here is what is on the Eiffel Tower. So it's really transport you back into, if you've gone to Paris before and you have the sense of the strawberries and the maroons and the silk wood, that's exactly the note that's in this perfume. It's very lightweight. I really love this. It's one of my favorite, and it's a perfume, so it's gonna last for hours and hours on you. And then we've got Flores. Flores is based from Mexico, so it has that Mexican story. If you've gone to Mexico and you want to have that, you know, those remembrance of those scents, or if you have family in Mexico and you just want to think about them more, just go with the Flores scent. It's wonderful. Love that. Okay, let's see what else I have here to show you. Let's go with the Atterese family. And I call them families because they are fragrances that have the same name, but they're all a little bit different. Like, for instance, there's I think 5 of these. I only have 3. There's the Atterese Pure Gold, very sophisticated scent. You don't want to just, and these are also perfumes, so they're going to last a lot longer. But it's very nice scent here, Pure Gold. We have the Atterese Velvet, a little bit more casual. The Atterese Night is really nice. It's a more of a heavier scent than the others. Again, you only need to use a little of this one because it's a lot heavier. But I love that. Open. I need the door open. I'm sorry, guys. It's getting really warm in here. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I need the fan on then. I hope the fan does not disturb you, but it's really hot in here. Okay, and let's see what else I have for you, ladies. I have, now the Double Nature, I think, is really also great for preteen up to adults. It is just fun. I have a friend who calls these the bipolar scents because of what they're called. Like, for instance, if you want to, this has like peace and wild, kind of fun. It's depending on, and I love the wild. I don't feel like I'm a wild woman, and I don't think I like it just because it's the purple, but I just really love this scent. It's very nice. So it's peace and wild. You've got tender and sexy, and you've got what do we have? We have cool, and there's 8 different ones for this one. Let me pull it up. You got rock and glamour. So really fun. All about what your mood is for the day. How are you feeling today? Sexy or cool? How do you feel? No, that's sexy or tender. I'm sorry. Cool or crazy? Woohoo! How are you feeling today? If you're feeling a little down and you want to have a nice pick-me-up, there we have it. Peace and wild. So there's 8 different scents for that family. Yeah, I did all of those. So those are just fun. So, and worldwide, we sell more of the Double Nature than anything else. And speaking of worldwide, I was surprised when I started Jafra to learn that we sell more fragrances than any other company. I guess because we have so many, and because we cater to the entire family. So worldwide, we are the #1 in fragrance selling of fragrances. #2, I didn't even know that there was a such thing as a Fifi Award. That would be equivalent to the Oscars for fragrances. And we have won a couple of Fifi Awards. And as a matter of fact, Premier Moi was one of them. Such a wonderful fragrance. You really should try this one. Okay, then let's see what else I have here. Another fragrance family. We have the Blossom family. We have Rose. Now this rose is not like the regular roses that we would smell from our garden. This is made from a rose that only blossom once a year, one month out of the year. And I think it's a rose that's in France. If my memory serves me correctly, it's a rose in France that blossom only 1 month out of the year. So that's Rose Blossom. We have Gardenia Blossom. So if you like gardenias, this is a wonderful one for you. And then the Orchid Blossom. And this would be like one that I would go to. If I'm wearing purple, I'm going to wear this scent. Plus, I like it. It's a really nice scent. So orchids. And let's see what else here. Did I do that? Did that? Okay. Now, I think it's fun that we have some his and hers fragrances. This is Navigo Ocean. We have the his scent and the her scent. That is so cool. So you and your hubby can go out on a date together. You know, you both wear your same fragrance. Navigo Ocean for him and her. We have a few other ones with that too, with a him and her scent. So kind of fun. And now let's go into some of the men's fragrances. I absolutely love Absolute Leather. It's a really nice scent. I love that on my hubby. And then we have Absolute 56. Absolute 56 tells our story. Because Jafra was founded in 1956. We're 64 years old. So that tells our story. And it's actually a fragrance family. They're both the Absolute family here. Then we have a whole line of JF9. We have JF9 Chrome, which is really nice fragrance here. Then we also have, these are not open. We have a red. Now this red intense, it only comes out promotionally. We don't have it all the time, but when it comes out, grab it. This is the only perfume for men that we have. So remember how I said the perfumes are going to be the longest lasting, 8 hours and more. So when you see red intense come out, grab that. It is a really nice fragrance. Then there's also JF9 Green, JF9 Black, JF9 Blue is promotional. We don't have that all the time. Eau d'Arômes Homme, we have this. And this is also one that we have in the women's as well. So we have one for the men and one for women. So another date night fragrance for you. And I also mentioned that if you can ever get the deodorants with the fragrances, grab that. Legend is one of our popular fragrances. I don't have any more of those, always out of stock with me because I have a few male clients that love it. But if you have the fragrance, most of our men's fragrances have a deodorant to go with it. So you want to grab the deodorant to go with it. So as you can see, and this is a very, very small portion of what we have for fragrances. There's so much more. We cater to the entire family. So if you ever have a gift-giving occasion that you need to get a gift for, fragrances is one of our most popular lines to give. Outside of skincare, I think our skincare is #1 in what we sell, and our fragrances, it's very close to it. Very, very close, because it's made from the top perfume houses around the world, the top ones. So if you go into the department stores, we're using the same fragrance houses that Chanel's using, that all of the top, Estee Lauder, all the top places are using, because that's why we're able to have earned the awards with the Fifi Awards. And we're not going against other skincare companies. We're going against everyone who sells fragrances. So yes, we're going up against Chanel and all the others, and yet we're still on top. So thank you for listening. I hope that you have learned some things about fragrances and that this has been helpful for you. And if it has, please share this with someone else. And be sure that you push that red subscribe button and subscribe to my page and give me a like. And as I'm growing this platform. So YouTube's kind of new for me. I'm just kind of learning and doing more on the YouTube platform. So love to have you, check it out more often. And most importantly, check out my blogging page, which is purpleessencebyEvelyn.com. I'll put it in the comments below. Because I have done a couple articles on fragrances, and there's articles on other departments too. It's skincare and makeup and body care. So go there, learn some more, and check me out there. And if you're interested, sign up for my newsletter so that you are always on top of what's happening with us and what my sales are. All right, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. In the meantime, I am always here keeping you royal.